Hello, my fellow YouTubers. How are you today? And today, I'm doing a bit of a tribute episode to this guy. You see this guy? Yeah, you see this lovely green shield here? This lovely dragon shield, green suit. This people love this guy. He's probably one of the most iconic Power Rangers of the lot. And today, we'll be tributing this lovely character in my top 5 Power Ranger Tommy episodes. Now, this is how it's going to work. Basically, I'll pick one episode from each of Tommy's 5 Power Ranger incarnations. Green Mighty Morphin Ranger, White Mighty Morphin Ranger, Red Zeo Ranger, Red Turbo Ranger, and Black Dino Thunder Ranger. In each of these 5, in each of these Ranger incarnations, I'll be talking about my favorite episode from each of them in order of a top 5. The reason why I'm doing this, well, because, I just got this on DVD and I loved it. I know I could have just done a massive review to Green of Evil, but I felt, no, let's go to the next step. Let's actually talk through some of the achievements of Tommy. And here we are, Tommy Oliver. So number 5, my favorite episode of Tommy being the Red Turbo Ranger, Passing the Torch Part 2. This episode, well, not gonna lie, it's a heartbreaker because we're gonna see Tommy, Adam, Tanya and Kat pass on the torch to 5 new Rangers, TJ, Carlos, Ashley and their Pink Ranger. To be fair, Turbo gets a lot of bad rep, mainly because of the overcore use and the storylines and the plot holes. But Passing the Torch Part 2, it's actually quite a sad episode for me because simply we're actually seeing the Power Rangers pass on the torch. The episode is good in itself. Well, we have Divatox's mother come in and cause trouble with the Rangers capturing Tommy and holding him under this kind of whirlpool of sorrow. But then suddenly TJ comes and rescues him, and later on we find each of the Rangers find that these kids are worthy to be their successors. Well, in the background information, Jason David Frank and the co-actors agreed to leave Turbo and pass on the torch to these new actors. But story-wise, this was a powerful scene for me, seeing Tommy give up his Power Rangers for good. Like, this isn't his final Green Ranger episode. He's actually quitting being a Power Ranger. And I mean, I found this interesting because TJ as a character had a lot of shoes to fill in. He was replacing Tommy. I mean, he was replacing this guy. Granted, I felt TJ's character was fleshed out better in space, but here Tommy was willing to decide to say he had enough and go on with his life. He gave some words of encouragement to TJ, saying that he was an awesome guy, a good leader, and I felt it was quite noble of Tommy because Tommy has probably the Ranger who has the most Ranger incarnations, and seeing him openly pass on the torch, I felt a lot of respect for him because he knew when it was his time. And he was willing to get on with his life, even if it meant stopping a Power Ranger. And that's why I like that episode, because Tommy was willing to get on with his life until Dino Thunder. But still, he found someone he thought deemed worthy of being a successor, and he knew that the legacy of the Power Rangers was in good hands. Now, number 4, my favorite episode of Tommy being the Red Zeo Ranger, Forever Red. I know I'm picking a Power Ranger team that Tommy wasn't technically a part of as a best episode. Granted, Tommy had a lot of brilliant episodes as the Red Zeo Ranger. Inner Spirit, King of the Day, you name it. But here in Forever Red, I felt, let me go to explain it. You see, this was the second time I saw Tommy as a Power Ranger. You see, when I was a little kid, I was getting into Power Rangers when Wild Force was being shown. Unfortunately, on ITV, when they stopped showing Wild Force episodes after Sengoku took the bear crystals. After that, I couldn't watch anymore. I had to rely on DVD releases to see the continuation of the story. Disney published a Power Ranger DVD which showed the top 5 Power Ranger episodes of the Saban era. The 10th Power, End of the Power, in Space final episode, the Lightspeed Rescue Lost Galaxy episode. But the last episode of that list that was considered a great episode was Forever Red. And my god, it's an incredible episode. Seeing all the Red Power Rangers team up together, so much continuity, so much awesomeness. I mean, my favorite part was seeing the roll call of them morph and the red fire coming out in the background. That was amazing. But you see, in Forever Red, I like it much better than the Super Megasource final because, well, in this, Tommy does an amazing good job. Here, he realizes that the Machine Empire, its former generals, are digging up Serpentera, King Mondo's evil machine. Wrong guy. Lord Zed's evil sword. There, General Fenjix, the last surviving general of King Mond of the Machine Empire, plans to use Serpentera to take revenge on the world and possibly resurrect the Machine Empire. Here, Tom is just excellent. You see, here I like him better than Super Megaforce because when Andros revealed he was the leader of this Red Ranger team, I felt such a gravity from him. He was completely sure of himself. I mean, he may have been off the game for 4 or 5 years, but he knew exactly what he was doing. He looked up these guys. He knew who to call. He formed the battle plan. He was a leader of a team of Red Rangers. And leader of a team of Red Rangers. Think about that. And he just was such on the ball all the time. He was everything you could ever want in a Red Ranger and a leader. And my favorite part, I know Forever Red has some problems like the recycled Beetleborg suits and Serpentera having that terrible CG animation along with being destroyed by a motorbike. But still, seeing Tommy in action like that with this leadership skills and just this accuracy on what he was doing and having a team of Red Rangers on the side just showed how great a ranger Tommy was. And it was even referenced at the end of the episode where all the Red Rangers were explaining why they were better than him. That was my favorite part of the show also. So that's Forever Red. Tommy, you're amazing in it and you're an excellent leader. Now, number 3, my favorite episode of Tommy being the Black Dino Thunder Ranger, Fighting Spirit. This was if you ever wanted a bigger character tribute, Fighting Spirit is your episode. Here, you see, Jason David Frank decided to stop filming Dino Thunder for a while so he could spend some time with his family. So they made up an excuse that the white Dino Thunder Ranger, Trent, froze him and his mother was damaged, causing Tommy to not be able to unmorph for a while Jason David Frank did some voice recordings for a few episodes. Later, Tommy decided that in order to fully cure himself and be able to unmorph, he decided to use the power of his Dino Gem. It did work, however, Tommy did become fully unmorphed. However, he fell into a coma and the Black Dino Gem was destroyed, meaning he lost his Black Dino Thunder Rangers. Sorry. Sorry about that, everyone. Meanwhile, Tommy in his coma has to battle his 3 previous Ranger forms. the Green Mighty Morphin Ranger, the White Mighty Morphin Ranger, and the Red Zeo Ranger. And the fights are cool. It's cool to see Jason David Frank in action, seeing his skills against his three first Ranger incarnations. I did wish Red Turbo was in it, but just to make a full set, but still, it was awesome seeing him going against the Rangers. Like, the theme changes. When he was fighting the Red Zeo Ranger, he was in the desert. When he was fighting the White Mighty Morphin Ranger, he was in the bamboo forest. When he was fighting the Green Mighty Morphin Ranger, oh, that was such an amazing scene. The Green Mighty Ranger actually gave Tommy the dagger, and Tommy went into a full fist fight. But the cool thing of this episode was when, before the Green Mighty Morphin Ranger was going to kill Tommy, Tommy said, "I'll always keep on fighting." And then we learned that the Rangers revealed to him that Tommy has actually been fighting for his life, and that he has to keep on fighting. And then they give him back the remains of his Black Dino gem, allowing Tommy to morph back to the Black Dino Thunder Ranger and activate Super Dino modes. It's an awesome episode and such a nice throwback. Dino Thunder did have a lot. Dino Thunder is my favorite season, and this was one of the episodes that made it my favorite, seeing that they acknowledged so much of the Saban era and Tommy's legacy. And seeing Tommy actually go up against his three Power Ranger incarnations was amazing. I have seen the Linkara episode where he explained that Tommy might have had some psychological depth in it, thinking that maybe Tommy Oliver was what he morphed into, that the Power Ranger form was his unmorphed form. And that, I did like the psychological analysis, but I doubt Disney would have gone that far with it. Still, it was a great episode. Love that Disney reused the costumes. Love that Tommy used Super Dino mode and kicked such badassery in it. Was amazing. And that's why I love Fighting Spirit. It's a great episode and continuity flashback. Now, number 2. My favorite episode of Tommy being the Green Mighty Morphin Ranger. Do I even need to say it? Green Revival. In this episode, we see Tommy first ever introduced, and I keep wondering, did people know how big a character he was going to be? Like, at the beginning, he was just going to be the extra ranger. He was only going to be in a few episodes, and now he's probably one of the most memorable Power Rangers in the world. Well, first off, in the episode, he's mind controlled by Rita and taken by her to become her mind slave and become the Green Mighty Morphin Ranger. There, he attacks his fellow Rangers and even causes some massive destruction. In it, he cuts Zordon off from the crew. He jams the command center, making them unable to teleport. He sends the swords underground to the Earth's core, and he even becomes a giant, and he takes down the Megazord. This guy was just whoa. For a first entry, even if he was an evil ranger, he was amazing. He was brilliant. He was the perfect example of what a villain should be. I know I said I like White Thunder more than Green and Evil, but still, Green of Evil showed why Tommy is a character you should not pick on, because he's both the perfect ally and the perfect enemy. And later, he does get redeemed later, as the Rangers do free him from Rita's spell, and he joins the team, and we're introduced to this guy. Come on, the Dragon Sword was awesome. We all loved it. And Tommy was just brilliant. And also he always did reference his time as the Green Ranger at some point of his Power Ranger shows. Like in Dino Thunder, despite what the White Dino Thunder did to him by freezing him, he still defended him, saying, "I was like him once, and I know that if it weren't for my friends, I wouldn't be the man I was today." And that's what I liked about it, since his friends could have easily have just said, this guy is evil, we need to kill him. But they didn't. They stuck up for him and gave him a chance. And it's because of that friendship he became who he was. And it's so awesome seeing him in combat. Amir, anytime you watched Power Rangers, you wanted to see the Green Ranger. This Ranger costume left such a legacy. It's one of the most memorable Ranger suits of them all. I do wish it was in the movie. It would have been cool to see a green ninja suit. But either way, Tommy as the Green Ranger was amazing. Green of Evil, an amazing storyline. Such a lot of build up, a lot of tension, a lot of drama. It was excellent. And that's now we come to number one. My favorite episode of Tommy of all. My favorite episode of Tommy as the White My Muffin Ranger, and my episode I think he's the best Ranger of all, White Light. You see in season 2 Tommy did lose his powers as the Green Mighty Morphin Ranger and was never allowed to morph again. So everyone thought this is it for his story, we're never going to see him again. But then we find out that Zordon, then Zed, has some of the new evil villain that's causing the Rangers so much hassle. Not even their Thunder Swords can stand up to it. But then Billy discovers that Zordon and Alpha are building a new White Ranger. And Zordon and everyone thought, could it be Zack's cousin? Could it be the new kid in the juice bar? Everyone thought there were so many possibilities of who it could be. And then we come to the command center. A white light comes. And we see this figure descending like an angel to the ground. We see his white suit, this white black shield, this black shield, and this tiger helmet. And then he takes off his helmet. Everyone's gasping, wondering who could be this new Power Ranger. And then we find out it's Tommy. And you see, I think everyone who watched this episode, diehard fans, were just, oh my god, it's Tommy. I mean, no one was expecting that. Everyone was expecting a new Power Ranger. I mean, no one was expecting Jason David Frank to return as the White Ranger. Oh my god, this episode is brilliant. We see him get Saber, we see him become the new leader of the Power Rangers, we see him kick ass in the Tiger Sword and Mega Tiger Sword. Oh, it's just an amazing episode. Why this episode holds such a closeness to my heart is this is the first My Morphin and first Power Ranger episode I ever saw in my life. Like I said in my Forever Red section, my mum got me a DVD showing all the best Saban episodes of Power Rangers. White Light was the first episode on that list. And it's just brilliant. Seeing Tommy as a character first time, even if it was his second time as a Power Ranger, was amazing. He was so focused, so he knew all the right moves. He just was there. He was able to, and that scene where the red dragon Thunder Sword in this Megazord mode handshake to the Meg Tiger Sword was amazing. And just seeing him there, getting all these treats, like becoming the leader and getting Saber, it was so amazing. And that scene where he just came down like an angel, it was powerful. It felt like Star Wars: A New Hope. He got rid of the Darth Vader mask as the Green Ranger and became this Luke Skywalker-like figure, helping the Power Rangers in their time of need. And I just loved this episode. And I like Saber. I like he could talk in it. It was a great episode. So these are my top 5 Power Ranger episodes of Tommy. If you have your own opinions, leave a link. And I hope to hear from some of you. May you all have a great day, and more for Monaco, everyone.